Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
Thanks, Matt Alba, man.
What? Oh man, I can't remember the response sequence.
I'm doing
also
good. I'm
joining
doing
me
good.
this week, another one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush. Hey, Rakush.
What up, Jaren?
Thanks, Rakush, man.
Oh, I appreciate you, Jaren. It's good to be here, fully mused up. That's the short form for Metamucil. I'm trying to make that a thing, with the cool kids. Mused up.
How's that working for you, Rakush?
It's actually helped out a lot. I didn't realize how much I needed to take Metamucil until I started taking it.
And finally, also joining us this week, another one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Julian. Hey, Julian.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks, Julian, man.
I feel like I'm missing context, but...
Rakush, I know we've been meaning to get to a Chainsaw Man episode eventually, but I feel like the time has also passed.
It's because you're a Jaren with... you're a man with a Jaren. I don't know. But... are we doing this? Are we talking about the finale of that show? It wasn't on the show order, so I don't know if we're doing this.
I don't know, Rakush, real quick, because I feel like the time has passed.
Yeah.
I feel like that meme's on the downward trend as well, but as I mentioned a few weeks ago, I binged through all of Chainsaw Man because apparently it was ending, and it did the other week. But realistically, has there been any word? Is Fujimoto going to do a part 3, Rakush?
I'll be honest, man. I think that guy needs to take some time off. Like, the way that series ended, it was as much of a here, damn, kind of like finale as you've ever gotten for a series. Kind of sad, but it was very clear, like, he was very done with whatever he was doing in part 2 for Chainsaw Man, which sucks to say because part 1 is still like one of my favorite things ever. So really had hopes that like part 2 would have a payoff, and ultimately it didn't. And I just hope that guy takes time off because like let him do his one shots. No announcement of part 3. There's no like setup for a part 3 or anything. I'm fine with them just moving on from this series.
Was he being forced to like continue the series? Because when you give like a here damn kind of like situation, usually it's because you're kind of like being forced into it.
Not a lot of stories out there about that, so it's pure speculation, right? So whatever I'm about to say, like, please do just take it as like Rakush's specific interpretation of what happened here. I think he was fairly comfortable finishing this manga after like 100 chapters or so. So like at the end of part 1. However, it was extremely popular, is extremely popular, and it kind of got to a point where maybe there was like an external pressure to keep things moving. I don't know. Part 2 did start decently. I thought there was like some pretty interesting setups and stuff like that, but it just ultimately led to nowhere. I think like by the end of it, it was just sort of like the world itself was beyond saving in that universe. So like, yeah, I don't know if I mean, maybe he wasn't there at the end of part 1, but it certainly feels like he was done with it by the end of part 2. So yeah.
Is this like a last season of Scrubs situation where in the future people are gonna be like, just read part 1 and like ignore part 2?
Yeah, maybe. What's up, Bear? What's up?
So, do you think they do an anime for part 2?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Considering like the pace at which they're kind of getting to these things for Chainsaw Man, I don't know, because I don't even think they've announced the season 2 or anything yet.
Oh, I thought they did. Okay, never mind though.
Did they? Sorry.
I thought they did. In my head, like, there's another Chainsaw Man season coming up, but maybe that's just me making things up.
No, you're right. Apologies. Assassin's Arc.
All right, the fucking movie just came out.
I don't know. My time with binging part 2 in particular, there were these moments sprinkled throughout it where I couldn't help but think, wow, it seems like Fujimoto really doesn't like Chainsaw Man anymore, or at least the fandom that has surrounded it and how people choose to engage with it. You know, there are some of those moments where I think Asa straight up says, tells Genji, "Hey, I hate Chainsaw Man fans like you," where it parts of it were too on the nose, and then once you get to the whole Chainsaw Man church, I thought that was just blatant, as it can be. But
Yeah.
I think my issue with part two is I had some issues with part one, but it was mostly apparent in part two with me was just the overall pacing of it. I feel, and then we talked about this kind of through DMs, Rakush, where I I couldn't tell if it was because I was binging, and that's what really affected how I viewed the part two, and I guess Chainsaw Man as a whole, where it's paced in a way where there are certain arcs that are so breakneck fast
Yeah.
that you don't really have when you do binge it, you really don't have that time to really sit with it, let it resonate, really see what's being said. But then at the same time, there are other parts that are just so slow where nothing really happens, where it's kind of a double-edged sword to me, where if you are binging it, it's you don't really have that time to kind of think it over, really comprehend what's happening, where it really does need it, especially when he does pack a lot of the kind of more background of a lot of the different devils and what their their goals are and their motivations. But at the same time, there are those chapters that are just pure spectacle, and it's 11 pages of honestly nonsense,
Yeah.
where I think some of in the black and white format, even though it's highly stylized, even though there's a lot going on in the panel, it's also kind of hard to comprehend what's going on visually. And then it's just 11 pages and you're done for the week. Where it, I think the pacing is what was my biggest issue with part two. And then it's the fact that as much as I enjoy the writing, I feel like when it comes to a lot of the bigger concepts of these devil, like the war devil and their motivations, and how that plays off with kind of these other lofty ideals and ideologies, I feel like those were written pretty weakly and not really fully explored, where it really just sounds like nonsense at the end of the day, or kind of like Julian, when we talk about Persona 5, how it really feels like someone took ethics or philosophy 101 and then tried to make a whole game out of it. And if you haven't really engaged in those schools of thought in depth, it's mind-blowing if you're 13 years old is what I'm saying, but doesn't necessarily play when you're maybe 23 or 33. And that's kind of how I felt with Chainsaw Man, especially towards the end.
I think with the ending that they gave us, it's very difficult for me to argue against what you're saying. I think if there were a better payoff to these things, it's a different conversation, right? But like the fact that it ultimately led to nothing and nowhere is kind of what is like the biggest criticism of that entire second part. I would still sort of defend the first part a lot more about like the pacing and stuff, because honestly, they packed a lot into 100 chapters. Like as far as just kind of getting from like the starting point to the finish line with that story specifically. Part two, I agree with you. And I remember you even like sort of sending that message about like, hey, maybe I'm binging it and like I'm not sitting with stuff. But like I was reading it every day as it came out, right? Or every week or 2 weeks as it came out. And honestly, there really wasn't much to sit with for a lot of times either. Like there's literally moments where it's like there's no dialogue in a chapter. You go through the 11 pages and it's 30 seconds and like you're on with your day kind of stuff. So like there are definitely moments like where I felt that as well. I was still hopeful based on part one that there would have been a good payoff. It just didn't really materialize with part two. So yeah, a bit of a bummer, man. Tale of two stories for me, I think. So this is one where I'm yeah, Julian, going back to what you were saying, like, yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a scrub situation where just watch part one and maybe just end it at that.
I mean, if it kind of has like an ending, I feel like
It's okay. I know there's this like thing about like there's always a Simpsons quote for everything, right? But quite literally, the best thing I've seen about this one is someone just posting that clip of like, was it a good ending? Was it a happy ending or a bad ending? And Marge just going, "It's an ending." That's my reaction to Chainsaw Man Part 2. It's an ending.
But boys, even though Chainsaw Man ended, it it really helped March and the meme economy. Where Matt, gotta ask you, when it comes to the meme stock, where did you put your stock in? Did you put it in the Chainsaw Man thanks Chainsaw Man meme, or did you put it into the Leon Kennedy having one-liners for everything meme?
I mean, I didn't get too many pushes for the Leon Kennedy memes. All the memes I was seeing, because Jaren, I am an anime focused boy. He's
Okay.
he's Chainsaw Man.
Julian, as maybe a more game focused boy, what was your thoughts on the Chainsaw Man versus Leon Kennedy meme economy of March 2026?
I mean, I definitely did see more of the Leon one, but the Chainsaw Man one got kind of pushed to me. The first one I saw was the Persona one, where it was like, "Thanks, Persona 4," and it's like, oh, because you're using 4 personas or something. But I had like no idea what that was referring to, so I actually had to put on my contacts hat and ask for context and like look on the internet for it.
Yeah, Jaren sent me the meme before I ever like saw the source, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Who wrote this shit?" I was like, "Oh, now I feel bad."
It's incredible. Oh man, but maybe I'm just showing my age.
The My Dress Up Darling one's really good too.
One day I'll play Resident Evil Requiem, boys. One day.
Sunday.
I have not seen this Leon Kennedy one-liner thing.
It's more or less.
I like it.
It's more or less like similar, where it's kind of just like, because Leon is known for one-liners in games. So a lot of the times it would be like him fighting another video game character, and it results in the one-liner saying the video game's name. So it started off like him fighting Joel from The Last of Us, and then it's like Leon winning, and then his line is like, "I guess that's the last of him." So like it's kind of like context.
So they're giving him the CSI Miami treatment. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think some of the memes I saw would, I guess the introduction to the meme would be, the esoteric that Leon parries something, but he would parry the most like nonsensical thing.
Yeah.
Where I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
It was like I think he parries Goku's Kamehameha or something, and he's like, "That wasn't very super, just saying," or something.
Good go.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
So
That's pretty good.
But actually, this week was also April Fool's, and I hate to admit, but I wasn't really checking out or clocking anything that really came out. Matt, were there any April Fool's goofs that got a chuckle out of you this week?
No, not for me. Not for me.
How about you, Julian?
I don't think April Fool's. Okay, because social media, the way social media is built now with like micro videos with like TikTok and stuff, or Instagram Reels. I don't think April Fool's works anymore, because you get some of those April Fool's videos outside of April Fool's. And now I'm like, is this actually a thing? Yes, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting some of them like a few days late, and I'm like that can't be real. And then, or like, I think it's like real. And then I look and it's like, oh, I just got it like late. Because before it's like, it just used to be websites on websites. And like, okay, that's fair. Like, that's clearly a joke. But I don't know, with how algorithms work, I feel like it's time to let go.
We're old now, boys.
Yeah.
But speaking about April Fools, I was made a fool on the 1st of April when me and one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba, went out to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And we ventured to the movie theater, and much to Julian's dismay, when I sent him a picture of our Yoshi popcorn buckets and our Super Mario Galaxy branded cups, because capitalism always wins in the end, boys, and I need to always consume to temporarily fill the void I feel in my heart. But We went to the movies. We went to a matinee show. One of I think the earliest time we could for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And right off the bat, when we walked in, we're scanning our tickets, saw someone at the counter buying a Yoshi bucket, grabbing his large popcorn, and just leaving the theater. And Matt, we went up, and I know in the car we said, "Okay, Matt, if you buy a popcorn bucket, we'll buy a popcorn bucket." And needless to say, we both bought some Yoshi popcorn buckets. And if I had to be honest, I know this makes me look bad, but for 26 Canadian moon monies, the quality of those popcorn buckets were way higher than I expected.
Oh.
I honestly would have expected this bucket, based on the quality and size, to be like $50 straight up.
And some, novelty buckets in the past have been upwards towards 44 Canadian. So, Julian, to be honest, I feel like we'd be losing money if we didn't buy these Yoshi buckets. And considering that I'm browsing Facebook Marketplace and seeing people, the audacity of some people to list at 100, maybe we made the maybe it was one bucket per person. Maybe we should have bought the third one.
Yeah,
maybe we should have bought the third one.
Wait, did you not buy more buckets the next day when you went to go watch a movie again?
No, because they were all sold out. Matt, they sold out. That a friend of ours, to his dismay, wanted a bucket and was unable to procure one. You can pre-order them online, but I believe these ship in August now. But
oh man, I might buy a Luma one actually.
How do you layer the butter on the popcorn in this bucket?
You don't put the popcorn in the bucket because that's going to be awful to clean up.
I was going to say, like, doesn't it get like oily and stuff?
Wait,
I saw actually people put like LED lights just inside so it glows and then just put it in your shelf. I thought that looked pretty cool. Now, what are you doing with your Yoshi popcorn bucket?
I was going to use it to store like Ferreros and stuff, but I ate all my Ferreros, so now it's just empty.
Well, with Easter ending soon, maybe you can fill that with discounted Easter candy by the time this goes up. But so, as I said, we went around for the 2:30 showing. I think we got there around like 1:30. We procure our popcorn buckets and novelty cups. And Julian, Rakush, the theater in question, had a Coke freestyle machine.
Ooh, okay.
And our friends listening out there know, if they know me, they know if there's a Coke freestyle machine, I'm going off. I'm going off because I need to make the most of my expensive drink purchase at a movie theater. So I go to the Coke freestyle machine and I do I'm going to mix some Fanta cherries and some Fanta lime because I like a Phantom limeade. Take it back to the table and I take a sip and think, wait, this tastes off. Give the drink to my partner. She takes a sip and thinks, okay, this tastes like awful. So of course, I dump it, go to a second machine, make my same concoction, bring it back, take a sip, taste off again. Even though you can see that the flavor syrup was definitely coming out, but it tasted really flat. Even though the syrup was there, it just tasted like flat soda water. And I thought, okay, third time's a charm, right? So go to a third machine, same thing, doesn't taste great. And I think, wait, something's definitely wrong here. Why are all these machines giving me disgusting soda water? So my partner takes the cup, goes to a guy at a freestyle machine and asks, hey, is your drink okay? Is it flat? Does it taste off to you? And he said, no, it works. And he offers the cup to my partner and says, do you want a sip? And she's like, no. But
Okay.
she uses the machine, brings it back, takes a sip and says, I don't know what that guy's talking about. This also tastes disgusting. So this was on all the machines on the right side. So I thought, okay, maybe the left side this is the charm. I go to the first machine on the left side. It says, machine's currently calibrating. Please wait 30 seconds or more. Think, okay, go to the second machine. Same thing, still calibrating. Wait, get to the third machine. Try my concoction again, bring it back. Still tastes disgusting. And I think, wow, I paid so much for this stupid novelty cup that I'm going to be sneaking into as many movies as I can while the Super Mario movie comes out. And it's all disgusting. So I give it some time. One of the first machines finishes calibrating, finally get my concoction, and it tastes what I expected. Rakush, why do machines need to calibrate my flavors?
Um, so, Jared, I got some bad news for you. I think
What's
you
up?
basically were getting the drink at the time where they were replacing either like the syrup or the fizzy water because sometimes we had to do that when we worked at McDonald's. So I think you just timed it, or like you were there at the wrong time.
It was an ordeal, Rakush.
Too early to Coke freestyle, but early enough to get popcorn bucket.
Yeah, like
Not
I
calibrated
genuinely
enough.
feel like if you had showed up there like 10 minutes later, you might have had a better soda.
Where Matt can attest to this, literally crashing out at that
Oh,
point,
man.
literally concerned at my taste buds were failing me at my
I
ripe
was-
old age.
I was so tempted to spend $10 just to see what's going on with the Coke freestyle machine.
Wait, you could have just taken a sip of the
I,
soda.
I offered Matt, but Matt
I didn't
being
want to
the
because I'm
friend
just like
that he
coughing a
was.
bit, so I didn't want to get like Jaren sick.
Okay, you could have gotten a straw, taken a sip, thrown the straw away.
No.
This guy,
But
he could have helped you avoid a crash out, Jared.
no, this was for Matt's entertainment. Matt came out and was entertained. You know,
Mm-hmm.
two shows in one day. Two shows in one day. And I know, Rakush, you're seeing the movie. Well,
Hopefully
by the
soon.
time this episode's released, you've seen
Yeah.
the movie. Julian, I'm not sure if you were going to see this movie, but, you know, talking around it, boys, Matt,
Hmm.
this isn't a good movie. Of course.
Damn.
This is
Like-
okay. This isn't a critically acclaimed movie. I think is a better way to put it.
As a piece of film, this isn't a good time. But
But-
I do admit, I'm a child. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
10-year-old at heart, where I turned to Matt the moment this movie ended and said to him, Matt, I'm so fucking easy. All you
Mhm,
need to
mhm.
do is have. Look, it's the same thing that happened with the first Super Mario movie. They go to an underground area, the first few notes of the underground theme plays, and I'm already clapping like a monkey in my seat because I'm a brain dead child.
This movie really, really worked its music and music cues a lot more than I think the first one did.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's all it is. Where I understand
Mhm.
why critics are dogpiling this movie, and you know, Nintendo, big corporation, despite us being 10-year-olds, they can take the punches. Like all the reviews aren't going to do anything for this. This is still probably going
Mhm.
to make a pretty good box office. And you know, as we said when we were leaving the theater, Matt, the moment that 2D Mario shows up on the screen for the title cue, all the kids in the theater were clapping, cheering because they're kids. Rakush, do
Mhm.
kids deserve better?
That's a heavy question. I'm gonna say no.
Oh, you hear that, guys? Rakush hates children. We got him. We got him.
I
We
mean,
got him.
We're like, I can fully acknowledge the fact that something like a Wreck-It Ralph works, where you can still pack a bunch of references and still have a decent story that can be enjoyed by children and adults alike, and hopefully teach proper lessons to the youths watching. Not
Mhm.
Rakush, Julian, there's no lessons to learn here. This is pure nostalgia bait. This is sensory overload. And this is made for, honestly, me, Matt, and the guy sitting in front of us.
Oh
where-
man, that guy was having a great time.
what can you say? Like, even if Rakush saw the movie last night, even if Julian saw the movie, this is the same exact conversation. There's no in-depth movie to discuss. Sure, we can talk about the post-credit scene, and maybe we can talk about Fox's inclusion, but other than that, this is everything you would expect from this movie, other than the potential Rosalina lore that was kind of explored. And I use
Mhm.
explored very loosely
Uh-huh.
when describing this movie. But
Uh-huh.
not
it's another situation of it's an ending.
Mhm.
it.
It's a movie.
Rakush,
It's a movie.
It was
It's a
an
movie.
ending. It was a film where I don't know. On one hand, I'm thinking, yes, the kids do deserve better. The kids should be having, worthwhile experiences that help shape their taste to teach them something at the end. But at the same time, I'm so fucking easy, guys. All you need to do is show, I don't want to even say it, but a character in the
Uh-huh.
background, and then I'm going, yep, I'm part of the
Uh-huh.
problem. I'm part of why no one respects video games as a medium. But Matt, what did you think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
I really liked the movie. I thought it was a really fun movie. You wilded, Jared. This is cinematic art. Oh man. Okay.
Oh, man.
You know what? I wish that I didn't fall asleep at the start of this movie. Because, working from home, lunchtime also becomes nap time. And since we watched this movie kind of early, it also intersected with my usual nap time. And I definitely passed out a little bit during the start.
Oh man, Julian, are you seeing this movie?
I haven't. I mean, everything I've seen about it kind of tracks with what you're saying. It's pretty much like jingling keys in front of your face, the movie. But I don't know. I feel like that's fine. I feel like there's room for that.
Boys, it knows what it is.
Yeah.
And it follows through with what it is. It's junk food. It's junk food, and that's okay. As someone who destroyed a bag of chips last night, sometimes you need the empty calories that are probably killing you inside. So that's my review of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I liked it. I thought the Yoshi bucket was higher quality than I thought.
I'm looking at the Luma bucket right now on their website, and I'm really considering going in on it.
See, Nintendo, you didn't need to release a poster with Star Fox on it.
Oh man.
So I was talking to Mark, and then, Mark works in the industry, and he told me that part of the reason why the Star Fox reveal was so early, because, I said to you, Matt, once the movie concluded, I thought you didn't need to reveal the Star Fox. You didn't need to reveal the poster but then when talking to Mark, he said that, when talking to marketing people, they said that I think it was coming out in Japan that Star Fox was in the movie, so they wanted to get ahead of it before it really hit the Western audiences. Because I think it was there were some early screenings in Japan beforehand.
I mean, I said it last week, but I think Star Fox drove me to this movie. I mean, Jaren drove me to the movie. He literally drove me, but Star Fox drove me to go. Yes. Jaren Fox drove me. Oh no, I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. But I think seeing Star Fox on that poster made me want to go watch it in theaters rather than just waiting for it on streaming.
It's the spectacle. Rakush, are you excited to spend your hard-earned money to see this movie?
I'm gonna go on a Tuesday, but it's $10.
Fair enough. But yeah, actually, Matt, when we were driving to the movie, Matt posed an interesting question to us. And he said, and I quote, "Do you guys use the headrests on your chair?" And that resonated with me, Matt. That resonated with me because, I too took the week off. I had some blue hours that were expiring, so I had to use. And part of our staycation was seeing a movie, going to the theater every day for our staycation. So for me, that was 4 days, 4 movies. And by the time I got to the 4th movie, I realized I do not properly sit back when I watch a movie. I'm kind of leaning forward. And worst of all, my head is kind of tilted to the right. And when I was watching the last movie, I was actively acknowledging, oh, my head's tilted to the right. I should probably sit up straight, sit back, look directly to the movie. And I found my head tilting to the right every time I would, catch myself doing that and try to fix it afterwards. And boys, the next day, I'm old because guess who had a stiff neck and even moving it slightly was throbbing pain that made me want to die. So, boys, don't get old is what I'm trying to tell all our friends right now. But Rakush, you also went to the movies and saw, a movie that starred a good Canadian boy.
A good Canadian boy,
in Project Hail Mary. Rakush, what do you think of the Project Hail Mary novelty bucket?
I didn't see it, but I also have the same question as the Yoshi one. Can you fuck it?
Yes, actually.
I thought it was
it would be
the
awkward.
opening's the egg though, right? It's not like Yoshi.
Yeah, for
Uh,
the Yoshi
uh-huh.
popcorn bucket, yeah.
Hmm.
But for the Project Hail Mary popcorn bucket, it's just a normal bowl, but like there's an astronaut kind of floating above it and being attached to the bowl by like a light beam, quote unquote, that holds all the wires, and then you can turn it on to light up. But popcorn buckets aside, Rakush, what did you think of Project Hail Mary?
I really enjoyed it, dude. Oh man. I think yeah, like it's just like one of the more entertaining movies that's come out in the last couple of years for me personally. So I think there's a couple of movies I would compare Project Hail Mary to, and I'll explain a little bit of the plot after that as well. Jaren, I believe you watched it too, right?
Yes.
But, yeah, okay. So I would say Project Hail Mary has a little bit of Mickey 17. It has a little bit of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Has a little bit of The Martian and Interstellar in it. And I know that's a lot of movies that I'm referring to, but I think what I really enjoyed about Project Hail Mary is I feel like it took the best parts of all of these. I would even add Arrival to that mix, by the way. It took the best part of all of these sci-fi movies and kind of made it its own thing, made its own story out of it. And I think that it really helped not knowing exactly what the movie is about. Like, I knew it had something to do with, like, oh, the Earth is dying. Like, you got to go into space to save it. That's kind of, like, at its core what this movie is about. But it's so much more than just, like, that general basis or, like, that foundation that it, like, builds off of. And Jaren, I don't know about you, but like I found myself being extremely impressed with Ryan Gosling's acting in this.
Yes.
Considering like every time I saw him on screen, it kind of reminded me of Ian McKellen in the backstage stuff for The Lord of the Rings, where like he has to act it out by himself. There's no other actors nearby him and stuff like that. And it really just kind of felt like it was a lot of that for Ryan Gosling. Like it was him interacting with I'll just put redacted here instead of actually saying what that is. But at so many times like I'm just
not to
What's up?
actually you.
Oh, no.
But a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of this movie is made practically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like puppets and stuff. So the
No,
Ian
but,
McKellen.
like you still got to like talk to a puppet. Like I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1 between the two, but I'm
Oh,
saying
okay. Because
like,
I was like, yeah, because the Ian McKellen thing is more so like the idea that movies these days are literally just like green screen and nothing else.
Yeah.
But I think this movie, there's so much practicality to it that I just wanted to like really point that out.
For sure. And
yeah.
I appreciate that. The part that I'm specifically referring to, because I do want to talk about the practical stuff in a second, but like the thing I'm specifically referring to are the acting chops required to be the only person on camera, like an only human on camera, so to speak, like that you're actually acting towards, right? Or like if you're acting towards a puppet, like how do you know what emotion you're acting towards sometimes? And that's where I was extremely impressed by what Ryan Gosling was kind of doing on screen. Was he doing Ryan Gosling? Yeah, at times, absolutely, right? But like, I'm a fan of Ryan Gosling, so I actually don't have that many complaints about him just doing Ryan Gosling. So, I think I was just very impressed from an acting standpoint with a lot of that stuff, right? Where it's like you really just truly begin to understand like how sometimes challenging it can be to seem so natural and so human in an interaction with like an inanimate object, maybe a voiced inanimate object, but an inanimate object nevertheless. But yeah, sure.
It's a Beefy Boy movie, and I've said it before. Where every time I go into a Beefy Boy movie, I have to mentally prepare myself because I am a child who can't pay attention to things. But no, I really adored this movie. Probably top 3 in my movie rankings this year. But I thought it was paced really well. A lot of just stunning cinematography, a lot of really good scenes and visuals, and just honestly really surprised at some of the more emotional beats. You boys know me. I cry. I'm known to cry during a movie, and yes, there were instances here where I was kind of tearing up and fighting back sniffles. But I really do. The two things I enjoyed was that, from the trailers itself, there is this notion that, oh, Ryan Gosling's character has to kind of sacrifice himself for the greater good, go on the suicide mission. And just to see how that actually unfolds and when this decision to go on this mission actually takes place in the film, I was really surprised at where kind of that backstory comes together. But the story at the forefront, this is a buddy film. This is a film of friendship, of, trust, and just being able to connect with someone and fighting through all odds. And you know me, boys, I love me some friendship, and this gave me friendship in spades. So, yeah, again, I can't say enough good things about this movie. Really recommend it. And I'll be honest, Rakush, love that Lionel Boyce is still getting some pretty notable roles, considering his upstart. Not saying that in a negative way, but like to see that guy getting some W's here and there. So, yeah, really do recommend Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, man. Like, it's just like the emotional beats of the movie are just, they feel sincere, they feel genuine, right? And the movie, if I remember correctly, was produced and directed by Phil Miller and Chris Lord, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And like, they've done 21 Jump Street, the movie. They produced the Spider-Verse movies. Like,
the Lego movie as well.
Lego movie as well. Yeah. There's already like a pretty good track record of them getting the humor and the sincere moments like kind of right. Sometimes even in like the absurd moments kind of right. And yeah, I just really found like it was done so beautifully for something that only had like one live action actor on screen, let's say, right? And yeah, I do want to talk about the practical effects because Julian, like you mentioned it, and one of the coolest things that like I would encourage people go check out after watching the movie is how there's essentially like a tunnel in this movie that is entirely reflective from the outside and the inside. And like, it's just, it's so interesting how like they've built out a lot of these sets and like how they've built out some of these things that are frankly just stunning on screen, right? Like, there's really no fancier way of me describing it. So, yeah, man, I really enjoyed this movie. Jaren, I think I'm like you as well nowadays. I'm a little bit of a softie when it comes to just sort of like emotional moments. And it's kind of crazy to me that like this is the second movie where a piece of rock has made me cry, So yeah. Amazing film.
It's a good time to recommend it. Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Like, I think it's one of my favorites of the year.
You Ryan Gosling personality dropped too.
Yeah.
Now you can.
I've always heard, guys, that like I am kind of like Ryan Gosling. A lot of times I've been told physically like Ryan Gosling, But
me too. That's literally me.
Yeah. No, honestly,
well, he's a good Canadian boy. So,
No, like Ryan Gosling is that actor where like, I know it's so stupid to say this, right? But he is like the one actor where I see him on screen and I'm like, he's just like me for real, right? To go back to Chainsaw Man. Like, there's no truth to that at all. Like, if someone that's never seen my face is listening to this episode and they go look me up, I'm apologizing in advance for the disappointment you're about to experience. But no, it's just like this funny thing with every single movie he does. I'm like, wow, he's just like me for real. Something comes up. So
I got a fur-lined jacket after watching him in Blade Runner.
I knew that. Now like, I was gonna, yes.
Now I'm wearing my glasses in weird places after Project Hail Mary. So
wait, did you watch the movie?
I did, yeah.
Oh shoot, sorry, I misheard you earlier saying you didn't watch the movie. Sorry.
Oh no, I did, yeah.
What did you think about like the movie then?
Oh no, I loved it. Yeah, like it's before watching it. So I listened to the audiobook. So I kind of like knew a bit of like what was going on, but I went in. I really liked it as an adaptation. It's less, so the book is more sciencey. Like if you read the book or listen to the audiobook, it really kind of goes into the science side of things, which is Andy Weir's kind of wheelhouse. Like he wrote The Martian, and The Martian was also pretty like very like high science, like in terms of what it was. A lot of explanations. I think in the movie they kind of correctly pivoted a lot of it more so to the friendship. And I think that made a ton of sense for like audio visual medium.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. And yeah, Ryan Gosling, new personality, wearing glasses in weird places now. Literally me.
Yep.
Yeah.
With your Blade Runner trench coat.
Where's my Blade Runner trench coat?
I'm a sucker for this now at this point where it's like the idea of communicating with, and mild spoilers here, but like the idea of communicating with like an extraterrestrial like species or entity, right? And like learning the language through just sort of like constantly talking back and forth. Like Arrival had a lot of that. It's one of the reasons Arrival is
that
one of
fucking
my
movie. I fucking hated that movie had an ending. Is what I'm gonna say.
What?
I love the ending.
I love the ending for Arrival.
I hated the ending of Arrival.
It's cyclical.
Like 75% of the way through that movie, I was like into it, and then once the ending dropped, I was like, "This is shit."
It's accepting the inevitable, but still doing it because it's.
Oh no, I hated. No, that movie for me was ruined by the way they kind of did their time shit, and that everything just fell apart for me at that point.
I mean, to each their own, I guess, but no, I absolutely love Arrival.
Oh fuck it! Oh man. Oh,
I thought it was beautiful, but yeah, and to each their own.
Oh man.
There's something about the inevitability and still kind of like doing it because, regardless of the fact that you know it's doomed, etc., etc., etc.
I think
man, no. Oh man, no.
No, I think I loved the idea of like, so like after watching Arrival, like one of the things I was thinking about a lot is how the assimilation part of that story is so tied to learning a language, right? Mm-hmm. And like once you truly learn that language and like, you know, it's like you're truly assimilated at that point kind of deal. So like I really enjoyed that part of Arrival. Now it's been a long time since I watched it, so maybe I'll go rewatch this again and I'll be more energized next week to like, you know, dispute what Matt is saying. But no, going back to Project Hail Mary as well, like I just like it's done a lot more simplistic here because it's not a big part of the plot, right? Like it's just honestly kind of there to make it so that the rest of the movie is a little bit more from a narrative standpoint, like easier for the audience to understand. And I have no issues with that. But yeah, like I just absolutely love that stuff as well. And I guess like the last thing on my end, Jared, I know you mentioned like this is a beefy boy movie. It did not feel that beefy to me.
It didn't feel like it, yeah.
2.5 hour long movie. It felt like 90 minutes to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
No, that's why I said the pacing's really well done.
So good.
It's just such a good story again. I just really loved it. I think once I got past I said before, once I get past like the runtime and you're just sitting there engaged with everything, really invested in the world that they crafted. It's a beautiful movie and it's friendship, boys. It's friendship. And I love me some friends where, I think this wasn't part of my 4-day movie streak, unfortunately, or fortunately for my neck. But kind of go quick while we're still on the movie kind of portion of the show. On the Monday, Cineplex, I think they do this nationwide. Every few weeks, they'll do a Monday mystery movie.
Yeah.
Where you pay the fee. It's one showing, I think, all around the nation, in North America, I believe. And you're paying for a essentially early screening of a movie that has yet to be released. Where I know in the past, I think the most recent ones were something like How to Make a Killing, was shown, I think, a week or two before its actual release. Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. That's also one of my top 3 of the year, but that was shown early as well. And this week's movie was The Christophers, directed by Steven Soderbergh and starring Ian McKellen and is it Michaela Cole? Boys, when I did see Michaela at the beginning of the movie, I thought it was the movie with her and Anne Hathaway also coming out this month, Mother Mary, but this ended up being The Christophers, which, just real quick, was really surprised by it. A really dialogue, character focused movie. And I do like how it starts one way, but you think it is more of a heist adjacent movie, and by the end of it, it is really purely driven by dialogue, these character motivations, and just kind of coming to terms with where each of the protagonists are in life. And as someone who, I told you, Rakush and Matt, how I love going to museums, just how with art being such a kind of driving force for these two characters. The museum scene at the end just really resonated with me. I really like how it ties a lot of the themes and just dialogue points throughout the movie all together at the end. Really satisfying ending that meant a lot to me. So if you're kind of looking for something character driven, really discussion heavy, I do recommend The Christophers when it does come out. I believe officially on April 10th. The Tuesday movie we saw was the new Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, where when I first heard about the premise of Ready or Not, I thought this was, a quote unquote serious horror thriller. But when we finally got around to watching the first one, was really surprised at how much it was just a campy kind of action horror movie, where I do compare this something similar. Boys, I thought I was getting Resident Evil 1, but I got Resident Evil 4 instead. And as we discussed with the Leon Kennedy memes, nothing wrong with that. Really enjoyed Ready or Not 2, just really fun, really campy as well. And boys, it's really nice to see Sarah Michelle Gellar again. She is one of the major antagonists alongside Sean Hatsi, who, I haven't talked about The Pit on the show. I could talk about The Pit on the show eventually, but I love The Pit. Nice seeing him here too. Our Wednesday movie was the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which we discussed at length. And finally, on Thursday, we saw the drama, the stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. And I really enjoyed the drama. I think this was the favorite movie of the 4 I watched this week. I think going in, everyone talked about the quote unquote twist. And this is one of those things where the twist really happens towards the beginning of the movie because it sets up the conflict and all the issues that these characters are dealing with throughout the rest of the movie. Where I can admit this isn't for everyone, but I really do like what it was trying to, or kind of the themes it was discussing in a more dark comedy type way. Do admit though, the couple sitting behind us, they were really loud during the previews, and we thought, oh man, I hope they're not really going to be talking throughout the movie. And they were quiet throughout the movie, but have to admit, the girl or the woman sitting behind us, every time Zendaya was on screen, you would just hear her whispering, God, she's so hot. Zendaya's so hot. She's so beautiful. And like,
oh man,
that was a bit distracting, but yeah, shout out to Zendaya, I guess. Julian, how many Zendaya movies are you going to watch this year?
2, I guess. The drama and Dune. Does she have any?
Okay.
Oh, Spider-Man as well, right? Oh man, so like 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man's this year.
3 Zendaya.
Apparently, she's been talking a lot about like taking a break after this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because aside from those
screen.
movies, she's also in Euphoria, which is also this year.
Yeah.
So
season.
Not a chance I'm watching that season.
Yeah,
I've never seen Euphoria.
That's the dark spot of her resume this year.
Yeah, not a chance. I feel like that's this show where I'm like, season 2 didn't even need to exist. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, it is all speculation and just people on Reddit, but like, it sounds like she's distancing herself a little bit from Euphoria or something.
Extremely.
Yeah,
like, a lot of the actors are, because the showrunner doesn't have accusations against him, but just sort of not the most friendly setting, I guess, to like, work with. I guess that's kind of like what like a lot of the stories sound like.
Okay.
Right.
Is the drama
What's up?
Dark comedy? Because I know some people were confused, because I think there was some people that had an impression it was like a romantic
It honestly, this is a dark comedy. A dark romantic comedy. So,
Okay.
while it explores the marriage between the two characters, just some of the imagery and like the themes it plays with, especially for boys. Not remember when I said I'm so fucking easy? Not only if you want me to monkey clap, one, you put a lot of Nintendo imagery. Two, you put a lot of cringe millennial MySpace era imagery in front of me, and I'm eating that up. Where if you like that era, Julian, if you like that era, Rakush, if you like that era, Matt, if you like that era, you'll like the drama. And yeah, I won't talk too much about the twist. It's probably out there especially if you read any of the reviews. But this was thankfully one of those things where I watched the trailer initially, and it, cuts off right before the twist is revealed, and I was really impressed by the payoff. So I do recommend the drama, especially if you're just looking for oddly dark fun, but also with you can debate if how they handle the central theme is either handled well or not, but I thought it was just a good movie, and if you guys do see it, really interested to hear your takes on it. But that was me going to the movies this week. Went with friends. Thanks again, Matt, for indulging in my consumerism, and I hope my neck feels a bit better. But boys, the real reason we're all here this week, we need to talk about some controversy that has plagued the Real Mistake Zone League 2026 in one Crimson Desert. Rakush has voiced his dissatisfaction about my running of the league and potential quote-unquote collusion with the video game journalism industry at large. And Julian, you're here to set the record straight. You are obviously here as an ally to Sega 2. Julian, please tell Rakush that he is in the wrong and that this is a game that deserves its mixed reception.
Crimson Desert? Okay. Ooh, I don't know. I don't even know where to start with Crimson Desert. So Crimson Desert. Okay, I guess I'll start with when it comes to the criticism against Crimson Desert, there's two that come up the most, and that's first the controls and two the story. So for the controls, so I'm like 10 hours into Crimson Desert, 10 or so hours into Crimson Desert. So let's do a thought experiment here. Let's say you guys are making a video game. You guys are making a video game. You're developing a video game, and you have decided that your primary control is going to be means of control is going to be the controller, and you're gonna signal this to the audience because when you start up the game, you're gonna have this works best with a controller thing. So you're gonna center the controller here. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna tell me what you would do as a developer. So number one, let's say you want to have precise platforming in your game, right? So you want to have parts of the game where you're going to be jumping on platforms, and the platforms can be as small as like one Minecraft block. How would you map that out to the controller so that it feels good for the player?
As in, like, you're jumping block to block, or
yeah. If you're jumping block to block, how would you kind of like do that?
Direction and jump button, whatever that button is.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Maybe throw a double jump in there. I don't know if this game has double jumps or not.
Okay, so like
platforming a lot easier a lot of the time.
Okay, cool. I'm hearing you, but how about instead you hold the left bumper to open something called precision mode, where it opens up a cursor, and then you point that cursor where you want to jump, and then you press the jump button. How about that? Matt, you mentioned a double jump button. You mentioned double jump, right? In a video game, how would you do a double jump?
You would press the side jump button a second time while you're in the air.
Okay, I'm hearing you, but instead of that, how about you jump one time, and then when you land on the ground, you press jump again, and this time you'll jump double the height of the original jump.
That is a Mario 64 jump, actually.
For sure, but what if I call it a double jump anyway?
That's jumping twice. What are you doing?
But everything
God.
everything in the tutorial, I'm just gonna call it a double jump. Is everyone okay with that?
God.
I mean,
This is like that shit where it's like, oh, this is a double tap and this is tapping twice.
Okay.
does it serve the same purpose as a double jump? Would be my question, because at that point it might just come down to simplicity from like user understanding.
No. Okay. Like taking off the character, turning off the character for now. No, it doesn't, because like Matt said, it is like a Mario jump. Like, you know, in Mario 64 where you jump like 3 times and the more consecutive jumps you do, the higher it is. Yeah. Like, that's the idea they have, but they call it a double jump, and everything is kind of framed like if you look online, if you Google right now Crimson Desert double jump, it's gonna be like a list of people not understanding how this works, because you can glide in this game, and you glide by pressing the jump button mid-air. So for most people, when they try to do double jump, they're actually just going into the glide. So they're like, I don't understand how this double jump works. And the game doesn't like explain it. Anyways, turning the character back on. Let's say you want a video game that has a combo system that uses light attacks and heavy attacks. How would you program this into your controller? What would you do?
There's a couple of ways of doing it, right? But like... main way.
Are we talking about character action?
Yeah. You know what? Right? Let's make it more of an action game, right? Because instead of like an RPG, let's make it an action game. How would you do this?
Yeah, it's just X and Y, right?
Okay.
One button for light, one button for medium, one button for heavy.
Okay, how would you do combos? How would you like switch up combos mid-combo?
You would change the button that you're pressing, and you're kind of just checking, hey, they've done a light punch, check what their next input is within a certain amount of time.
Okay, I'm hearing you guys. But how about instead I assign light attack to the right bumper, heavy attack to the right trigger, and I will assign an auto attack where you hold in the button and you're just automatically attacking, and then whenever you want to switch up and do a combo, you press one of the face buttons, and the face buttons will actually change what you're doing instead of you pressing the next button. How about that? Does that make sense to you guys? Because that's kind of like what I'm feeling when it comes to this game.
Actually, honestly, that doesn't sound bad.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so that's one thing. So I want to kind of get to that in a second. But let's move away from the controller, because the controller, sure. When it comes to the story, I have a question. So this isn't a spoiler because this happens within 10 minutes of when you start playing the game. The main character, name is Cliff, by the way, with a K. The main character dies and gets killed at the start of the game, almost immediately. And he is revived with strange powers. I've been playing this game for 10 hours. I want you guys to guess how many times the game has mentioned Cliff dying and Cliff having powers.
I'm gonna say 0.
You'd be correct. I'm 10 hours into the game, and the game has not once mentioned that this guy died within 10 minutes of the game and has strange powers. He has not acknowledged these powers in any way. He has not shown a reaction to his death. He has not mentioned it to anyone, even to his close friends. For all intents and purposes, this man just didn't die at all, and we didn't need to see that cutscene. I guess it was just a setup for why he has powers, which didn't even matter because he's not even talking about those powers anyways.
Wait. Are we sure he didn't have the powers before?
You know what?
For him.
Honestly, at this point, I can't tell you. I could not tell you whether he had them before because he didn't mention that either. So maybe he got killed because he had these powers already, and then, I don't know, maybe the powers revived him.
You know what? This honestly just sounds like the setup for a plot where So, this sounds like an isekai plot where someone dies on Earth and then someone dies in, whatever, Crimson Desert, and then whatever god puts the Earth person inside the Crimson Desert person, and for them, this shit's totally normal.
Honestly,
Oh man,
though,
this is an isekai game. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this now.
no. Here's the thing, though. Here, as
Crimson Desert,
Yeah.
I would like to specify this is not an isekai game. No
Okay,
isekai
okay.
trash
Uh-huh.
with culinary ass wars. Thank you very much, Matt.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I want to say though, like, as much as I'm like, kind of like playing up this character that kind of like is trashing all these choices, boys, I kind of love this game.
Yeah,
Wait, whoa, Julian, this is what we discussed. We're supposed to dogpile on Rakush for picking up that game in Fantasy Critic. Wait.
See, okay, this is. I think okay. Everything that Julian has said, out of character, right?
Yeah.
Everything Julian has said, I agree that holy shit, how could they make these decisions, right? But like, I also kind of just, again, outside of character, I kind of love that a game like this still exists because it's so out of the norm, right? Like, it almost is sometimes like, hey, you just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And this kind of feels like the definition of that, or like this game is just the embodiment of that, is what I'm trying to say. Is like, just fucking throw everything at the wall and see what like actually appeals to the fans.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's I was kind of like okay, so kind of like reeling it back. So Crimson Desert, I didn't think I wanted to give it a chance because there's a really weird like conversation around the game right now. Of like there's diehard fans for Crimson Desert that kind of have made it their personality to make it so that if you don't like Crimson Desert in a very specific way, like they'll kind of dogpile on you. And I know Jaren and I have had plenty of these conversations before in the past where like sometimes a fandom can kind of like ruin a game for me. Like,
Yeah.
not like ruin a game, but more so like make me distance myself from something. Like I am one of those weirdos that have played Persona 1 and 2 and have acknowledged Persona 1 and 2 and played 3, 4, and 5. But if anyone ever asked me if I like Persona or am a Persona fan, I would never say I am because because it's just how Persona fans are. I think a lot of the conversation around Crimson Desert was kind of like turning me off to it, but I think I needed like a game that was very open world and kind of mindless. And for all intents and purposes, everything I heard about Crimson Desert review wise kind of like matched that. And this sounds too weird to say, but like years of me playing heavily modded Skyrim has kind of primed me to actually like this game. Because everything in it, the weird controls, the weird story choices, are things that I can overlook because they are things that I add into like Skyrim when I mod it. Like if you watch gameplay of heavily modded Skyrim, if you even watch just like a few seconds of it, you'll notice that they add a lot of like weird shit, like parkour systems and like all this stuff that normal Skyrim doesn't have. And I am like a weird staunch controller player, so a lot of the times I have to like weirdly like modify my controls for it to work. So like the weird controls don't bother me, which a lot of people like day one, like the weird controls like really turn off people. But like Rakush was saying, like there's so much of this game that is kind of just like throw at the wall and see what sticks. But the thing about it is it doesn't stay for too long that it gets annoying. And the things it does well, it really does well. So it has a lot of like Breath of the Wild type exploration where you'll see like a random like structure, and then if you go to it, like you almost certainly you'll kind of find a dungeon. So there is a lot of like signaling to the player of like what you want to do, even if you're kind of just walking around. There's a lot of like there's a very in-depth base building system where you're kind of building this base with your like group of people. crafting mechanics, like things that I would add in a heavily modded Skyrim playthrough is here, but in like a very polished kind of like AAA-ish kind of way. So I don't know, like I hear the complaints about it. I am unfortunately very primed to actually like really like this game.
I think like this the thing about like reading a review for a game like this, right? And I can absolutely do the same character as Caladari Ass Horse, but like I genuinely think that like when I was taking a look at all of the reviews for this one, because I was also kind of fascinated by how much of a hodgepodge of things this kind of game felt like. I don't know if the reviewers necessarily could have given it a higher score than what they ended up giving it, right?
Yeah.
Because when you talk about like what do you factor in for a review, you have to factor in the story. You have to factor in the fact that like in the first 10 hours there's no mention of this guy dying and being reborn. Like you have to factor in if you're throwing a bunch of things at the wall and they're not cohesive enough. Like you do have to consider those things, right? So like I think from that standpoint, the review has to follow a certain sort of method to like, judging a game. But also there were so many different reactions based on like, what a person is looking for, that this ended up just being one of those games where like after reading say like a dozen reviews of this, my only takeaway was I really think people need to play it. Like maybe if there were a
100%.
demo for this game, I think it might have like, helped out a lot more. But ultimately like what a person makes of this game is going to be up to the individual. And it's interesting that like you're comparing it to Skyrim. I was talking to a friend of the show, Freddie, about this game as well, and he's also playing this game, and he had the same criticism about the story. By the way, the story is kind of
It's non-existent.
The story is fucking wild.
Yeah,
It's non-existent at this point.
Yeah, like no one has said anything positive about the story for what it's worth. No one likes the character either. But as far as like the gameplay and stuff, he's really enjoying it. And so he mentioned this thing basically where if you replace the main character with like Geralt from the Witcher series, the game all of a sudden becomes infinitely better, which I find really fascinating just from a like storytelling standpoint of like the world becomes infinitely more interesting, the game becomes infinitely more interesting with just simply replacing the character. And I'm kind of getting that same vibe from like your statement about like, being trained to enjoy a game like this because it's Skyrim. It's almost like what precedes the game heavily influences how you feel about this game while playing it.
I think my thing is this feels like, and I've seen people say this and I kind of like really agree with it. A lot of people mention that this feels like a single player MMORPG. Like an MMORPG that they at some point decided to turn into like a single player game. Because it has like these hallmarks that I'm like, that kind of feels like it would be. Because in an MMO, for example, like you build a character, and a lot of the times in an MMO, you don't really get that much of an introduction cutscene. You kind of just get something that gets you going, and then you do like random quests of like fetch this, fetch that, and that is kind of like the start of this. Even like I mentioned it, but the auto attacking, right? Like you're not doing combos here. You're holding down a button, and the character auto attacks, and then you press face buttons to kind of do like further attacks, which reminds me of like an MMO fighting system, right? Because in an MMO, you would engage an enemy with an auto attack, and then you would press additional buttons to kind of like pop off like whatever skills you have. So like, I think if you approach it with that mindset, because a lot of people approach this in like in a very like, I'm gonna approach this like a Skyrim, or kind of like it plays like a Skyrim, or it plays like a Witcher. I think if you approach it that way, there is gonna be probably parts that you're gonna be like, this doesn't make sense, like this game sucks. But I feel like if you know what you're expecting going into it, you're gonna be a little bit more primed to be open to what it's doing. Because like, I know you mentioned it before, but kind of like that throwing a lot of things to the wall and see what sticks kind of like works for this game because it is like this very open world, very like um it's kind of like it has a very day in the life feeling where it's like
Sure.
instead of like following a like grand quest, you're kind of like slice of life, like you are this motherfucker here who is just living his life in this world, and you are kind of like helping people. You know, and it's like for me that is fine, I think, and I was kind of like okay with that kind of going in, and it kind of worked. So I don't know, it was weird, but it's a weird game, I will say. It's not for everybody, and like I completely understand people's criticisms, but at the same time, I'm kind of loving it.
I mean, it sounds
Weird.
good. Like all the gameplay looks very good. It looks like nice, dumb, like hacky slashy fun.
It is, and like there's so much systems that like are unlocking as I am playing. Where like now I have like a grab, like I have like a grapple thing, and this grapple thing can be used to like launch the character up in the air. So there are things that are unlocking, and it's almost turning into like it's doing. There's parts of the game where it's like you have to get rid of a like a bandit camp, for example, or like they've kind of, and you know, a Ubisoft game. A lot of people are trying to compare this to a Ubisoft game derogatorily, going like, "Oh, Ubisoft's so boring with its clearing the camp thing." But like in this game, when you're clearing a camp, it kind of turns into, or kind of feels like a Dynasty Warriors game, where you are extremely overpowered compared to like the normal like minions, and you're kind of just like going all out and like destroying like hundreds of enemies at a time just to like clear a base, and that seems fun to me.
Actually, how do you feel? Like, I think I've been seeing a lot in the discussion of this game is that this is people saying that this is what Dragon's Dogma 2 should have been. Like, do you
It's
think
yes,
that's
yes,
accurate,
yes,
or-
yes, yes, 100%. I'm totally there. I do get really strong like Dragon's Dogma vibes. Like I never played 2, because I never played 2 because I heard like really bad things. So I was like, I don't want to tarnish. I didn't want to tarnish my memory of Dragon's Dogma because like that still is very like rated highly in my head. But there are like jank in Dragon's Dogma that I was able to kind of like not really hand wave away, but kind of like accept and be like, this is part of the game. And that's the same here. There's some jank that does come up and prop up, but I'm just like, that's just Crimson Desert, and that's fine.
The jank part actually kind of made me think of like another question as well, because something I've always found super fascinating is this one conversation that Dave Lang had with Jeff in the Giant Bomb days about like Fallout 4 and how like buggy that was, and inherently just open world games are very difficult to like QA and polish and fix every single issue that would come up with it, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of curious like how the jankiness feels in a game like Crimson Desert, which is as like vast and open world as it is, right? Like I don't necessarily know if people are expecting like polish from every single element of this game, but I know it's been a big selling point of this like series or this game is that like yeah, it's like this really crisp looking franchise and stuff. So yeah.
So I can only speak to my experience, and when I think of Bethesda jank, I think of like number one, game breaking bugs that are frustrating, but also like just the funny ones of like a person like clipping through the wall or like walking in the air kind of thing. I have like 10-ish hours of this game, and I haven't seen anything I would label under Bethesda jank. Like I haven't run into any like game breaking bugs. I haven't ran into like weird. In terms of like, I know they did their own engine, and maybe it's an engine built because I know they did like Black Desert Online or something. It might be building off that engine. But it's again, I don't know much about technical stuff for video games, but from my own personal like perception, it seems to be a very polished when it comes to like the graphics. Like I don't have the strongest graphics card, and I can run this game on ultra. It looks great. It looks beautiful.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, and
I
like I don't
heard
have
this was like very demanding, so that's kind
Yeah.
of surprising to me.
yeah, that's the thing though. Like I can run it did the automatic setting for ultra, and I was like, I don't know about that, but I kind of just went with it, and I'm like 10 hours into the game, and I haven't run into like any problems.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, and like whatever engine they're doing or using seems pretty good to me. When I say jank for Crimson Desert, it's more so just like weird design decisions that like you wouldn't normally see in other AAA games.
Is
But-
that actually still happening? Because like I heard that they did a lot of controller change patches recently.
There is a ton of patches, so they are patching stuff. Like there was a big patch last night that changed. That actually gave like my biggest complaint, which actually addressed my biggest complaint, which is there wasn't a hide helmet option because I'm a very vain person.
Of course.
Of course.
So they added that, and I was like, cool, like 10 out of 10 for me now. But anyways, yeah, they are still fixing up, but a lot of the things they're fixing are like gameplay tweaks from the looks of it. Because like one of the big complaint a lot of people have also is like the character movement. It has the Red Dead Redemption like the character has inertia. Like when you are holding the controller and you let you let go of the move button, like they will take like a few extra steps forward because they are like stopping themselves, as opposed to like stopping the moment you let go of the control stick. So there is like the character is like weighty and heavy and kind of feels like a tank sometimes. And for the past few days, they've been kind of like patching in to try to like change that depending on player feedback. So like the way like I played it a little bit today, and like he does feel a little bit lighter now. Like you can kind of turn a lot easier than you could before. So they are still like making adjustments, but a lot of the adjustments just seem to be like, again, like those gameplay kind of
just twisting knobs and stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, okay. How does the actual like combat itself like hit? Because one of the big concerns I had when I was kind of like looking at this game in its earlier states is that it looked light, or like for lack of a better word, it like looked light. Like it didn't look like the attacks had oomph, and that was like actually a really big turn off for me. And is that still? Do you think that's the case, or do you think like it hits okay now, or hits well now?
I think it hits okay. They do the thing where it's like there's those brief pauses when you kill someone, so you kind of get the feeling of the heft of the. I will say though, and I read this, a lot of people's complaints in the latter half is that some of the bosses do get like spongy when it comes to.
I see.
Yeah, so that's one of the things a lot of people talk about, is that where I'm at, combat feels fun because it does kind of feel like. It kind of, for me, it feels like a Dynasty Wars where you're kind of like strong and you're mowing down like enemies, and you have a really good like diverse kit to do that with. But a lot of the things I am reading is that later on the bosses get like really spongy, where you kind of have to really like learn the systems in a way that the game doesn't necessarily teach you. Because you do have like a parry system. You do have you have a parry system, you have a dodge system, you have a counter system. But like where I am at right now, like you could technically not. You can get away with never using those. You could kind of just like hold the auto attacks and then do a skill every now and then, and you kind of get away like unscathed. But yeah, apparently the bosses later get really like tanky and really you kind of have to get into those systems. So I don't know, like I'm not there yet, so I can't really speak to that. But that's kind of just what I heard.
Man, guys, I want to play Kingdoms of Amalur.
Man, what a fun game.
Oh man.
Too bad the guy who ran that company was a scam artist.
Who? owns the property for? Actually, I don't want to look this up. Never mind.
I
Wasn't it
don't know,
weird?
but
Like it
it's
was.
it's on Epic Games now, right? So
There was that they released a re-reckoning or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, I think I own that somehow. I don't remember buying it though.
still available on Steam. It is $40 US. So guys, I'm telling you, after listening to Julian talk about this, I am more convinced that the critiques of this game are unfounded. You guys all know this. All these things that, people are questioning. I didn't actually want to say it earlier, but guys, I have proof. I'm not going to share the proof, but I have proof that Jaren actually had a secret conversation with Pearl Abyss, telling them to put in specifically these things that people did not like, and it's not Pearl Abyss's fault. It's not Culinary Asswar's fault.
No, Kush.
It's the commission's fault. 100% player rating. 100% player rating.
Release them. You gotta release
100%.
the unredacted Jaren files.
Oh God. No, I don't like where that one went. Let's move on.
Yes, I admit I was the one that told them to put in the generative AI in the game and then have a half-assed excuse of why it was left in the game when it was found out, and people criticized for them.
Did you also tell them to not optimize the game for Intel graphics cards?
Yep. Oh, you know it.
Man, what a
damn, Rakush. This is what I get for trusting you with my email password. Damn, you hate to see it.
Nah.
This password is just Crimson Desert is the worst. XOXO.
With damn, you didn't have to dox me like that. No, Rakush. We'll know my secrets. They'll know my secrets, like how I also told the Gaming Enthusiast Press to I saw that unfortunately, Life is Strange Reunion was getting some pretty high reviews. So I told, I called up John Games Media and said, John, please, gotta pump the brakes here. A little too high for my liking. Julian, gotta ask, how are your girls now? A few weeks out.
I still believe. I played Life is Strange Reunion as well. I'm not sure, I'll get too much into it because it's still pretty new and it's a story-based game.
Mm-hmm.
But Life is Strange came out 2015, so a decade ago now, the first one. It was developed by Don't Nod, and they did Life is Strange 1, 2, and then it kind of changed hands to Deck 9, which kind of created the other Life is Stranges, which was DLC for 1, True Colors, Double Exposure, and Reunion. And I know a lot of people are very Life is Strange truthers and say they only prescribe to the ones made by Don't Nod and don't really count the ones made by Deck 9 as canon or part of the series or whatever. But I think for me personally, I really liked what Life is Strange Reunion kind of brought to the table. So to spoil a 10-year-old game, the first Life is Strange, the final choice is you have to decide whether to save Chloe, which could be your girlfriend, your significant other, or sacrifice her life to save the town that you're kind of in, Arcadia Bay. And, colloquially, people call it Bay versus Bay. BAE versus BAY. And I've always been I guess fortunately or unfortunately, I've been I've always been very utilitarian, and I love Chloe, but I'm not gonna sacrifice one person for or I'm not gonna sacrifice a whole town for one person. So I've always been very much save the town, and I know a lot of people really love the Bay ending, the BAE ending of saving Chloe, because the first Life is Strange is really important to a lot of people because it is, for all intents and purposes, it came out in a kind of a time where LGBTQ romances, queer romances weren't really prominent in video games, and it was kind of the first really big mainstream game published by Square Enix about a story where you could be queer. And I think that really resonated for a lot of people, and it's really important. So I don't really want to take away and be like, well, only one ending is the right ending, because I feel like a lot of people are with the endings for the first Life is Strange. But Reunion is after Double Exposure, and at the end of Double Exposure, there's some like time power thingies that happen that kind of like fuses the two parallel universes together, where now at the same time the universe is like, it's both universes where the town was saved and Chloe was saved. And in Reunion, you're kind of playing this game where, depending on the choices you make, there's kind of like, you're kind of looking at the consequences of those, kind of like what, I guess the aftermath of that. Speaking personally from my experience, where I chose the ending where Chloe dies, but she's brought back to life in Reunion, I really liked what they did with it, because there is this, there's this like idea of like Chloe kind of having these memories, because she is coming from a timeline where she lived. So she's having all these memories of living with Max, which is the main character, the player character. She kind of has these memories of living with Max and kind of like having this relationship with Max. But then the Max you play, or the one I play because I chose the Save the Town ending, like doesn't exist, because to Max, Chloe has been dead. So there's like this, they're doing this, in my playthrough, they kind of really did well with this idea of like Chloe kind of being this quote unquote like dead man walking, where like this person is an anomaly, this person is a paradox, and they kind of talk about it a lot. And I think they really kind of, I think they did well with that. I think it really brought a lot of drama to it, because there is another character too who was dead in the last game, but then they kind of brought back. So they kind of have that connection, or that there's kind of like a parallel to that relationship. But anyways, that being said, I don't want to belabor on it for too long because it is new. I think a lot of people say this game is unnecessary because it's like, if you finish the first Life is Strange with Chloe, then technically you could end the game there and you kind of have a happy ending with Max and Chloe. But for me, where I always kind of choose the town, I was able to kind of get like both my cake and eat it too. So it is a little bit selfish of why I like this game. Where I was able to save the town, but also at the same time, I'm now able to kind of end this story with Max and Chloe kind of being together. So I really enjoyed it. I got really emotional at the end. It definitely is very fan servicey. Like, I'm not sure. A lot of people kind of compare it to Mass Effect 3 DLC, the Citadel, where it's kind of just like, this has been a long-running series. Here are all the references. Here are all the fan servicey stuff that you have. This is a big celebration of this series because it's the final game. So it was very fan servicey, but at the same time, I like that. Because it is kind of like a celebration, and I did get emotional at the end. So I was like, oh no, like this is it. This is like the end. And I think this is kind of why, weirdly enough, to connect it to Crimson Desert, this is kind of why I was looking for like a mindless open world game, because I kind of got really like emotional at the end, where I was like, well, like this is the last of these characters I'm gonna ever see them in, unless they kind of like reboot, which isn't always out of the picture, but at the same time they are saying this is gonna be the last one. So there is that sense of like, and I know we joke about it, about the idea of like kind of getting old, and I know we joke about that idea of like,
Who's
I joked
about that?
Yeah, like I joked in the past about like the next Fallout game I play is probably gonna be the last Fallout I'm gonna play before I die kind of situation. But I think there was something about this game ending and kind of like acknowledging that finality of this series of like, this is kind of it. Like, this is like, thank you for like riding with us, kind of like, thank you for having this adventure with us. That really got to me, and kind of like, oh, there is that mortality aspect of it for me, for my part. So I was like, oof, this is rough. So I was like, I got pretty emotional, boys. So I bought Crimson Desert right after.
Well,
Seems like a total whiplash there.
Yeah. But I did like it. So as a Life is Strange fan that's played like every single one, I think it ended on a positive note.
Oh man, Julian, time to be that guy. When we first talked about this and you were playing this game, Julian, this had a open critic of around 85. It dropped to
It's like 70 now.
a 73.
Yeah.
A 73. Julian, I know you kind of went into it during your thing, but I feel like this is kind of the full circle moment of the show, where even when you were talking about Crimson Desert and then when we were talking about the Mario movie, like critically, while this game might not be there, this feels like something that was specifically made for, the fans of this series, the fans of this franchise, and I'm a fan of these characters as well. Where I know you were talking about kind of saying goodbye to these characters. Like, do realistically, do you think this is the last we'll see of them?
I think
and
so.
Do you think, yeah?
Yeah, so in terms of like so Deck 9 created Double Exposure before this one. And the ending of Double Exposure clearly kind of set up more of the game. They kind of did this weird thing where, because in Life is Strange, the big draw is that the main character has powers, right? They unlock a power. So like Max has like time powers. In Double Exposure, they kind of end in a weird like Avengers, like, I'm gonna recruit the other people with powers now. So they're kind of like doing like we're gonna get everyone together, that everyone has powers, and we're gonna be the Avengers. And they were kind of setting up like clearly a stinger for like future games. But Double Exposure did really poorly, critically and like sales wise. And there was a lot of layoffs in for Deck 9 after Double Exposure's release. And again, this is going to just be speculation afterwards, but a lot of people ended up speculating that they kind of had to cancel their plans or whatever plans they had for after Double Exposure to kind of get this final game out because of like all the layoffs, all the closures, possible closures. So they released Reunion as kind of like this is our way of kind of like saying goodbyes thing. Because they did say like when they were advertising Reunion, they're saying like this is the final adventure for like Max. Whether that means the final adventure for Life is Strange is kind of like yet to be seen, and that might depend. But you can also see it in Reunion where it does kind of feel like the budget for this was a lot lower than Double Exposure. They kind of had to reuse a ton of assets, and there's kind of like parts of the game you can tell they're kind of like doing shortcuts to try to kind of like just complete the game. So I feel like, and again, this is all speculation, but it kind of does feel like Double Exposure didn't go the way they wanted it to, and they kind of want to give the fans an ending. Because such a big controversy for Double Exposure was them canonically breaking up Max and Chloe. So regardless of whether you save Chloe or not, they broke up in Double Exposure. So I feel like Reunion is kind of just a way of like leaving it in a place where like the fans, number one, they can leave it in a place where it's positive, and number two, there's kind of like a small celebration happening because it does kind of have references to the other Life is Stranges, and kind of like mentions and kind of celebrates all of them in the previous kind of thing. So I don't know, I guess it depends on how this sells, but I don't know, these games never sold well anyways. Like the only one that sold really well was the first one, and it's kind of just been a downward trend since. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, to kind of answer your question if this is the last one.
And I guess
unfortunately.
And I guess my final question while we wrap up this Beefy Boy episode, I feel like with Life of Strange, Chloe and Max are these two characters that have endeared themselves in the community. And when I kind of think about Life is Strange in large, and even like the spiritual successors or, the related spin-off, not necessarily as really associated games, but kind of, just adjacent. Um, I feel like none of those other Life of Strange games, none of like even with Lost Records, none of those characters really have penetrated the gaming discourse like Max and Chloe have. Where I think, I guess, final question as someone who has a affinity for these characters, what do you think it is about Max? Or I keep trying to saying Sam and Max in my head, but with Max and Chloe, like what made them be able to kind of break through to the overall gaming community at large, where some of these other characters were unable to? Is it just how they're written, or is it also a case of these were a generation's first characters to introduce them to the genre and in turn at this specific moment of their lives?
I mean, I don't want to minimize their writing because I think they are both kind of like well written. I do like their personalities and how they bounce off each other. Like they tried to do a game with Max by herself, and it didn't play as well as the games with Max plus Chloe because they do kind of have like those different personalities. Where Max is very like girl next door, like kind of like meek and shy, but then Chloe is kind of like that, like punk rocker, more confident, kind of like, and they play off each other, and it plays off really well. It's a really good dynamic. But I think, and again, I could be wrong, and people like I would definitely be open to listening to other opinions. But I think personally, I think there definitely is a strong component of just being the first. Like me personally, if I take the series, if I look at the series as a very like broad view, I think Life is Strange 2 has the strongest story. The strongest story where you're playing as brothers who become fugitives, and you're playing as the older brother who is protecting the younger brother who has the power, so you're not the one playing the character with the powers. And a lot of the criticisms of that game when it came out was that people are like, no one in America is this cartoonishly racist because they are Latin American. But then now, like 10 years after the fact, you're like, actually, there are people that are this cartoonishly racist against, like, your character because you are a person of color. So, like, I think in terms of story, I think 2 is the strongest because it kind of does dive into a lot of, like, deeper topics that kind of, I think really kind of resonate, at least, well, for me. But I think it kind of just depends on what you resonate with, right? Because like I said, when it came to the first Life is Strange, it was released at a time when gaming didn't really have that many diverse characters, and this was the first kind of like really big AAA game. Well, published by Square Enix, so I'm not really sure it's AAA, but I guess it kind of had whatever AAA means these days. But that had an option to kind of have a very central LGBTQ kind of like love story as a part of its kind of like story. And I know that, when it comes to representation, I know that's really important for a lot of people who kind of see Max and Chloe as, like that kind of having that meaning towards them. And that's, perfectly valid, and I completely understand that. So I think that kind of elevates them in some way, maybe. But that isn't to minimize their writing either, because I do love Max and Chloe as characters. Yeah. I mean, it's just sad. I think it's like the finality of it.
And I guess we're finally here at the end of the Mistake Zone. But thank you, Julian, for sharing us your time and your experiences with the new Life is Strange. Sad to see your girls go, but hopefully there are new stories to tell in the future.
I really like when like some of our recordings just have a natural theme that comes out of without like any pre-planning. Like it clearly is just the theme of this episode is endings.
You know what?
And then Crimson Desert.
Wait.
Fair. But boys, there's only one thing to do at the end of an episode of the Mistake Zone, and that's the Don't Match Me Challenge, where every week we'll bring forth 5 questions, and all you have to do, our friends at home, is simply come up with an answer that doesn't match our own. If you want to play on the normal mode, feel free to try not to match me, but if you want a bit of a more difficult round. Try not to match Rakush, Matt, and Julian as well. But boys, you know we have to bring it all together. We've been talking about the end. We've been talking about, how critics receive things, kids for movies for 10-year-olds. So what better way than to end this episode with a round of Don't Match Me, a good Canadian boy edition, Ryan Gosling. So boys, Ryan Gosling, born on November 12th, 1980 at St. Joseph's Hospital in London, Ontario. Moved around a lot. He's lived in Cornwall, Ontario, Burlington, Ontario.
Why are we doxing Ryan Gosling?
Here's his IP address.
Yep.
And when you dox Ryan Gosling, you're doxing me because I'm just like Ryan Gosling.
Of course. But boys, to be a good Canadian boy, you have to have, at least lived around Canada. So simply put, here's the layup question. Name any city in Ontario, Canada. Name any city in Ontario, Canada.
And it has to be a city, not like a village, township, nothing like that.
City. I was going to say, name one of the major municipalities, but, just city right off the bat. You got to do some layups, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
So name any city in Ontario in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Friends, if you said Windsor, you're out.
Ooh.
Matt, which Ontario city are you at?
I mean, I'm going with good old London. Well, okay,
Maybe
I'm going with London. I'm going with the city, London.
How about you, Rakush?
I am gonna go with King City.
Okay. And Julian, what city are you going with?
I went with Sault Ste. Marie for some reason. That was the first one that came to mind.
I really thought you would have gone with Thunder Bay.
Oh, see, I thought I was gonna go with Thunder Bay, but then I was like, maybe that's too obvious. I want to switch it up.
Yeah, I didn't pick Thunder Bay because I thought you were gonna pick that.
Well, boys, Ryan Gosling was part of the Musketeers, and I feel like when we think about, or when we hear about the Musketeers, their roster has seen quite a few notable members where might have to look this up, but you might have one in your back pocket. But name any of the Musketeer roster. Name anyone that has been on the Musketeer roster.
Just to confirm, that's like the Mickey Mouse Club, right?
Yes. So name another member of the Mickey Mouse Club's Musketeer roster. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said JC Chazaz, you're out.
Fuck. Oh, Jaren.
Matt, did you also choose one of America's Best Dance Cruise judges?
You know it, Jaren. You know that's why I picked JC Chazé.
Rakush, who'd you pick?
Jaren, I need you to hit me, baby, one more time. I'm going to Britney Spears.
And you, Julian?
I'm here to ruin the world tour. I picked Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other notable ones? I see Christina Aguilera here. I see other people who don't resonate with me, if I have to be completely honest.
If I had gone with Justin Timberlake, I could have ended with a, Matt, you can cry me a river. I'm going with Justin Timberlake. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Would have been worth matching.
But now we go into, Ryan Gosling's filmography. Name any film that Ryan Gosling has been in. Name any film that Ryan Gosling has been in.
I feel like with this one, I specifically have to try not to match Julian. I think I have my answer, but I feel like there's three that Julian is going to pick from. That's what I'm thinking.
So name any film Ryan Gosling has been in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Friends, if you said Drive, you're out.
I'm out.
I was so close.
No.
I was so close. Oh my god.
Matt, what do you got?
I mean, I'm going with the VTuber related one. Going with Blade Runner.
Amazing. That is a VTuber one. Fuck.
Rakush?
Jaren, you want to fight? I'm going with Only God Forgives.
Okay. And Julian?
Sorry, man.
Guess you're out, huh?
I drive.
I thought, okay.
That's what I do.
I thought it was going to be
drive.
one of three movies with Julian. It was either La La Land, Drive, or Blade Runner because of the trench coat.
Yep, that's actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Good guess.
Well, hopefully you guys are still on the Ryan Gosling filmography Wikipedia page. Because, of course, excluding Saturday Night Live, name any television program Ryan Gosling has been on. Excluding Saturday Night Live, name any television show Ryan Gosling has
I wonder if
appeared
we're all
in.
just gonna match on this one.
I think, I think I see a way where I'll get a match.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said, "Are you afraid of the dark?" you're out.
Oh.
We're out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
Matt, what do you got?
Really?
I'm going with what I first saw Ryan Gosling, which is Breaker High.
Classic. It's a
Fair.
classic.
Okay. I was going to go with either of those two, so I was going to be out regardless.
How about you, Julian?
I thought the obvious pick was Breaker High, so I wanted to pivot, so I chose Young Hercules.
Good one. Good one. Where, boys, I think in Saturday morning arcade lore, me realizing that Ryan Gosling was in Breaker High is a pivotal moment in my life. So, for question 5, I know you're on the filmography Wikipedia page. Click Breaker High and name any other character from Breaker High.
Like actor or character?
Excluding Ryan Gosling, Sean, name any character from Breaker High.
Oh.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Didn't go with Sean, but I went with his best bud, Jimmy, played by Tyler Labine.
Damn.
Who'd you pick?
I also went with Jimmy.
not a good round for you.
Oh, not good.
How about you, Rakush?
I also went with
I wish this would be a triple Jimmy, but I actually chose Ashley. Ashley Dupree.
No.
But boys, who knew that the Good Canadian Boy would result in a pretty rough Don't Ask Me challenge for the week?
No, it's actually very fitting because we all feel like we're Ryan Gosling,
true.
you know. So
We're
all two in-
We're all Gosling in some way.
We're all in two.
We're all Gosling, yeah.
I drive. I don't know what else you guys do, but I drive.
Oh man.
You want to fight? He's okay. Sorry, I need to read out his discography here,
Sorry,
or
discography? Does he have a discography?
filmography. Sorry,
Yes.
Oh.
because it is genuinely one of the better ones you'll ever hear. Right? Like he's in Remember the Titans. He's in The Notebook. Certain audience obviously appreciates that a lot more. Drive, Ides of March with George Clooney, Only God Forgives, The Big Short, The Nice Guys, La La Land, Blade Runner. Okay, insane. Like 2015 to 2017, essentially like that 3-year span. Okay, Big Short, Nice Guys, La La Land, and Blade Runner. He's in Barbie in 2023, Fall Guy, Hail Mary. Like, it's one of the best filmographies I've ever seen.
I mean, also Crazy Stupid Love, which is a lot of people would say is one of the best romantic comedies.
Right? Who would have thought I was on such a tear in the mid 2010s?
Boys, honest question. Film chemistry wise, do you think Ryan Gosling and Michael B. Jordan would pair well together in a movie?
Ooh,
I don't know.
they play similar
Yeah.
characters.
Do they? I don't watch enough of either of their movies to know the character type that they play.
I think the difficulty I'm having is, well, okay. The only place I can think of this actually working is if Michael B. Jordan plays the Russell Crowe character in The Nice Guys. I think maybe that works. That's about it though.
I'm trying to think. One, I'm surprised they haven't, but now I'm trying to think chemistry wise. And boys, to bring it all around to the mistake zone, is Ryan Gosling and Michael B. Jordan too good for the Fast franchise at this point?
Oh,
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't suit the Fresh franchise, I think.
I think Fast franchise is fast food,
Mhm.
right? Like, do Ryan Gosling and Michael B. Jordan feel like they're fast food type characters? No, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, if you told me Timothy Chalamet, 100% I think would be a good fit for
In Fast
Fast.
franchise?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's weird. You would think Timothy Chalamet would be in that same sort of category for me as Michael B. Jordan and Gosling, but no, somehow.
Yeah, okay.
I-
It might have to do with him being a Knicks fan.
Oddly enough, I think I know where you're coming from, Rakush. Where if you told me
Yeah.
he would was committing to Fast and really hamming it up, I can actually see that way before I can see Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Gosling in the Fast franchise. Assuming
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
weird.
Okay, wait. When you see
Michael B.
Timothy
Jordan-
Chalamet in it, do you see him on family side or on the enemy side?
I mean, all enemy sides turn into family side at some point, so
Yeah.
you'd have to consider
Yeah.
both.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True.
he'll be there in a roundabout way, but I can see him playing a really over the top villain, at least for
Uh-huh.
one part of the movie before he goes into space and then puts things into perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man! But
Yeah, I think
boys,
he would be
another
the younger enemy that is doing things new style,
I could see
and
it.
then Vin Diesel has to come in and be like, "This is the old fashioned way," and kind of beats him by doing things without technology.
I could see him being on the villain side of say if they ever remade Tokyo Drift in this day and age.
Oh, like an actual more grounded. If he went to a more grounded Fast and Furious movie,
Oh.
Oh no, I don't even think he would be
Hmm.
grounded. I just think he would be the
Okay,
villain in that.
cool.
I think he would
No,
be
if it's a remake, he would be the main character, I would assume.
Yeah.
no
No, he
chance.
would.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna make a
No.
white dude the enemy in the Tokyo Drift remake.
No.
Wait, what's a white dude?
100%.
No, the enemy was a Japanese person, wasn't
yeah, DK.
Yeah. Yeah, DK.
Donkey Kong.
I'm not saying he would be the only villain. I'm just saying he would be one
A
of the
villain,
villains,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Can a Fast movie have multiple villains? Is that allowed? Does that usually happen?
No, it's usually just
I
the
think
one
so.
headliner, right? And then
It's the one headliner, and that headliner becomes family in the next.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then their brother or something is the next
Yeah.
villain.
I think multiple enemies is too complicated of a plot line for a
Yeah.
fast movie.
But there's the grounded
Oh, God.
remake that's just called Drift.
Oh, man.
Global Drift. Oh.
But I was about to say the eye is a 3, but that doesn't fucking make sense.
No, it could, because it's if you're drifting and you're making, duplicate eyes, you make 3 eyes as part of the drift itself.
Oh, that's good. Oh.
That's good. Yeah, okay. All right.
But boys, another beefy boy episode. Gotta thank my best friends in the whole wide world for joining me this week. First off, gotta thank Matt Man for joining me and editing this podcast. Thanks, Matt Man,
Matt Man?
because you're Matt and a man.
You're back.
Also, gotta thank one of my other best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush Man, for joining me this week, talking some Chainsaw Man and some Project Hail Mary. Thanks, Rakush Man.
Rakush, man?
Because you're a Rakush and a man. And finally, gotta thank the professor. Haven't used that moniker in a while. Julian Man for joining me this week. Enlightening us about Crimson Desert and telling us about his girls from Life is Strange. Thanks, Julian Man.
Julian Man?
Because you're Julian and a man. Doesn't get old, boys. Doesn't get old. We did not just nosedive that into the ground. Matt, please give us a Leon Kennedy one-liner
Oh, no.
to
Man.
send us off.
You can't pick the ending. I already have them pre-written.
Rakush, give us a Leon Kennedy reminder before Matt takes us away.
Oh, shit. And that's an ending.
No, fuck. This was definitely a mistake. So.
Oh yeah, that works.
Oh man.
It's a zone full of mistakes.
I'm going out of here. This has been the mistake zone, and we're all out of things that were definitely endings.
Thanks, Mistake Zone. Man.
Huh?